I can't even tell you what a thrill this is for me to have the opportunity to talk to you.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I'm speaking to you from Toronto, and as you probably well know, the biggest YNR fans are here in Canada. I mean,
Definitely.
I've been watching the show for what, 45-ish years. Like, it's insane to me that it's been on for so many years.
I know.
I know. And my mother is just like dying that I'm talking to you today. So thank you for your time. I really do
Right,
appreciate
this
it.
right there is a picture. Where is it? Of me and Mel and Eric on the cover of TV Guide.
Yes,
Up there.
yes. I see it. I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know, like, if you remember this back in the day, I used to work for Global Television, which was the carrier, of course, still is in
Right.
Canada. And we used to have you guys come all the time to do
I
these
know.
soap
I
opera
remember.
fan fests. Like, can you even fathom? I mean, we'll definitely talk about your movie in a second, but I can't ignore the YNR because it is such a huge part of your
Sure.
life.
Why would we?
Um, and such a big part of Canadians' lives. But when you used to come here to Toronto to do these soap fans, like, do you remember like Lalana Novakovich? The,
Of course.
okay, my like, how do you even fathom that in your life? Like, how did you guys control that? You know what I mean? Like, the fans are insane.
Yeah. Well, especially, I mean, I was 22 years old when I got on YNR.
Yeah,
So I was young going up there and dealing with all that. And it was, I mean, it was like culture shock. It was crazy because I mean, I went from obscurity to being treated like one of the Beatles when I would go to Canada. I literally got cornered in a bookstore once. It was really kind of terrifying.
oh wow,
I was
that's
at a
crazy.
Canada, and people started like going, that's a bubba, that's a bubba, that's a bubba. And in a bookstore, there's nowhere to go. And all of a sudden
Right.
it was really kind of crazy.
Wow. Well, yeah, listen, we listen. We all love you here. There's
I
no
have
question
fond
about it.
memories. I have very fond memories of going up to Canada and doing those events.
Yeah, lots of fun for sure. I covered many of those events, especially when it was Ontario Place, and you guys we would go backstage and have it was it
I
listen, it
remember
was a
it was fun.
great part of my life too.
Great, great times.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on this movie. It is really lovely, I have to say. I really, really enjoyed it. And
Oh,
I wanted to ask you, first of all, when you get scripts, when you get things these days, because when you do The Young and the Restless, you have that freedom now to do other things. You're not on every day constantly,
right.
which is lovely for the character.
I'm not under
So,
contract. Yeah.
yeah. So, how do you choose, Eileen? Like, what do you look for when you get something?
Well, I look for something that, first of all, is fun for me to play, and something that I like. And what really drew me to this movie was the fact that it was so sweet.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was well written. I got to work with Michael Pare. He was already attached before I came on board. And
Yeah.
I read the movie and I was like, I've read a lot of Lifetime Hallmark movies. I thought it was better than most.
Right.
And I just really liked the fact that there's nothing offensive about it. It was just kind of like a feel-good movie.
Yeah.
It brings awareness to organ donations, and I think that was kind of huge. And it's gotten a legacy award, which is about organ donorship. And I actually learned a lot. Like, there's only like 3% of people that are donors can donate. So
Really?
there's like not a lot of it going on, and it's mostly women that donate.
Interesting.
There's a lot of myths and things that are attached to organ donorship. And which I had no idea. I thought it was much more common than it is. So to actually get a good match is rare.
Very interesting. I didn't know that either. I didn't know that fact about women. That's
Mhm.
fascinating
Right.
because what's interesting in the movie too is that her donor is a male.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, very, very interesting. Well, I want to ask you because you're working with this great cast. Working with Michael, of course, who we he's a busy guy. I know he's a busy guy, but of course we all love him from Eddie and the Cruisers and all the things that he's been in. Tell me about your chemistry with him, and did you guys hit it off immediately?
We did a read through with the cast, and I don't know if we hit it off. I mean, we did. There was no.
Yeah.
I actually hated him. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
We're just kind of getting to know everybody and blah, blah, blah. But our first time on set working together, it was like, bam, he's
Right.
very funny. And I mean, I always, love humor.
Of
So we
course.
hit it off right away. We knew he was kind of, Sorry, people are here. Hold on.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. The new normal life of Zoom, you
I
know?
know, and
Yeah,
I'm so
yeah.
happy I don't have pajama pants on or underwear when I got up just then. That would have been real fun.
That would have been awesome.
But he has a very dry humor, very funny. He's kind of goofy. And our first scene was actually one of the scenes that takes place later in the movie,
Right.
where I'm showing him the workshop, and he was just, we're just riffing on each other. We had so much fun. I just really looked forward to going to work every day. And I had great chemistry with Kennedy, who played my daughter.
Yes, I was going to ask you about her. She's first of all a stunning young lady and very charismatic and just you love her from the second that you see her on screen. And I wanted to ask you because you are a mom, so it had to have helped you with the relationship you had on screen with her.
Of course, yes, of course. I think she was playing the same age my son is, um, so yeah, absolutely, that always helps, But I mean, I played a mother on TV. Well, actually, not that often, have I? Huh, that's interesting. Only I was thinking about Abby on The Young and the Restless.
Yeah.
On Days, I guess I did.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So it does help though. You feel invested. And you have that love,
Yeah. I'm sure. And you know what? And like I say, we just need so many more feel good movies right now with everything that's going on in the world.
That's
Honestly,
when I read it, I was like, I just want to do something that isn't gory. Although I don't mind that. I really like horror and playing in horror movies.
Yeah.
But in this instance, I just, oh God, everywhere. I just really liked having having a movie that just made you feel generally really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
This movie 7 Days to Vegas does that too. That was a movie that we did and was released last year.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's great. It's great that, like I say, that you have this opportunity. And I want to ask you, Eileen, I always find so interesting with people who, have their careers in soap operas because you have to learn your dialogue. Like literally, you get the script, you have to learn this dialogue so quickly. How has that helped you, mentally to be able to, now I'm sure you pick up any script, especially when you have a little bit of, time with it. It's got to be so easy for you after all these years.
I'll tell you, it does help. No doubt. We actually get the scripts a week ahead of time, so it's not like we get them the day before.
Yeah, okay.
But it's a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
And we don't have a lot of time, so you have to kind of be on it. And this movie was shot in just a few days.
Wow.
And some of the time there was no rehearsal. Like if you remember the scene where I go out into the auditorium and it's Christmas and I'm thanking everybody, the blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The director said, we're just going to shoot the rehearsal. I was like,
okay.
Nobody was in the audience. None of the cast.
Yeah.
And I just gave that speech, first take, that was it.
Wow.
Actually, the one in the hospital room with Kennedy too, where she's asking me what love is.
Yeah.
Because we were running out of time. So they're like, let's just shoot the rehearsal.
Amazing.
And it's amazing. And I have to say, I'm just used to having to deliver. So
yeah,
I was able to, because you never know what you're going to get.
Well, that's for sure. That's for sure. And like I said, it must have been fun too. I think this cast, to me, it just seemed that you guys all had just a fun time with it.
Yeah, we did. We all really liked each other. Everybody was very professional and really cared about it and gave it their best shot, and it shows.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. I hope that a lot of people, find it. Well, I'll make sure that they do. And yeah.
And Dale, the director, was terrific. Even though we were shooting quickly, he never made you feel like you were rushing your performance, that you couldn't like do your best.
Yeah.
It's a nice kind of feeling in the overall set.
Yeah, no, it's lovely. I like I said, I really enjoyed it. And I want to ask you about, when you're shooting stuff now, especially your soaps and everything, it's got to be so difficult with COVID and everything. How are you guys managing this?
Well, it's funny. I mean, we certainly have a lot of laughs. It's difficult. Like when Dina was passing away.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Dina. We love you. Because she's all the way across the room. So we definitely got a lot of laughs out of that one. We're like, how the heck are we going to do this? Our mother is dying and we can't touch her.
Right.
Goodbye. It's been great. I mean, so
nice working with you.
We had some laughs. But the one thing I will say, because none of us knew how we were going to do that and how it was going to come across, it played beautifully.
Yeah.
The emotion came up, the emotion was there. And, the social distancing is just, I know not all soaps are doing that. And I'm not sure why. I want to call some of my friends on other shows and go, how are you close to each other when we are not? But we just did some scenes last week. we got rapid testing every day. So we were able to be a little bit closer.
Right.
That's not something that Sony wants to do all the time, is rapid test us. So maybe that's the difference.
Yeah, maybe too. And I mean, you've got to think about, yeah, and soaps, of course, everybody, you know, hops into bed with everybody and there's kissing and hugging and all that. And a lot of that's got to be pulled back, you know?
Right.
It's weird.
I agree. It is.
Yeah. But thank God shows like The Young and the Restless are still going strong, because you look at a lot of soaps have been canceled over the years because of what we have now with streaming and everything. Mm-hmm. What do you think it is about the longevity of the Y&R? Why do we love it so much? Why do we are so invested in it still, do you think?
Well, I believe it's a generational thing. I think you kind of pass it down to your kids for the most part. You know, everybody that started watching when I started, their grandmothers watched it, and kind of get hooked on it. And it just kind of becomes a part of your life. You know? That's
for sure.
With all soaps, but I always felt that Y&R was kind of the gem of daytime. There was always something kind of special about it. Especially in the 80s, I think it kind of stood out as just being really super pretty and well produced, and I think that's kind of given it a good reputation.
Yeah, that was kind of my era, the 80s, of watching it every day. I'd come home from school or whatever, and that was my thing. And of course, like I said, my mother still to this day watches. Like she's 83 years old, you know, but still is so invested in it. And I love it. And I remember getting the chance to actually come to the set and do some interviews there. And the biggest thrill for me was getting on the set to sit in Eric Braden's chair, like, you know, Victor Newman's desk. And we were looking around, and I like put my feet up on his desk and got this great picture. And I thought, but for me, like, that was like such a thrill, you know, it's so cool. Yeah.
Well, it's iconic for sure. You know,
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it's very cool. And also your relationship with these actors, you've known so many of them for so many years, and so many of you are still on it. I mean, you must be finishing each other's sentences at this point.
Yeah, truly. I mean, we're starting that thing where you start looking like your dog. We're all starting to look like
Well, I have to say, if anybody starts looking like you, that's a bonus. That is for sure. Man, do you ever look amazing.
What is your mom's name, by the way?
Her name is Rebecca. Becky.
Becky, I want to say hi to Becky. I'm giving Becky a big shout out. I'm sending lots of love from Malibu, California.
You have just probably will be making her day after we finish this. Just lastly, I want to wrap up, but I want to ask, you know, what's next? I understand that you've shot a TV pilot with your husband, your family. Tell me a little bit about that and what we can expect from that.
And my stepson wrote this. It's based loosely on an apartment building that Dickie and his wife Patty bought in the 70s, and they still own. Still in the family. And it's about all the characters that are in this apartment building. It's kind of like an Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh.
And we have Caitlyn Jenner in it, and Don Stark from that 70s show, and Willie Garson's in it. My girlfriend, Kimberly Russell, who was on Head of the Class. She's terrific.
Yeah.
And so now we're just kind of shopping it. It's funny. It's edgy. And we managed to pull it off during COVID, and I was exec producing. And can I please tell you what a pain in the royal butt that was?
I can imagine.
Having to have everybody tested.
Yeah.
Plus, I had to be Mother Superior. Put your mask on.
Yeah.
Come on. You got to.
Wow.
Smart these days. We got to be smart.
No, you are so 100% right. We've got to get these numbers down.
The fact that we were even able to pull this off during COVID was incredible, but we did it, and it's turning out really funny.
Oh, good. I can't wait for that. We need that. Like I say, we need more laughs. So I really, really look forward to that. Well, Eileen, I can't thank you enough for your time today. I really do appreciate it. And it's been so much fun to like I say, I think the last time I saw you was probably over 20 odd years ago. So
I have to be perfectly honest with you. When I sat down and opened it, I went, I know this woman. I know her. So that's great. I'm glad we're able to reconnect after.
I am too. I'm so happy that we were able to reconnect. And again, thank you to the shout out for my mom. She's just really going to be very thrilled about that.
Lots of love to Canadians. We adore you.
Yeah. Well, we adore you guys too. Keep up the great work. We want to see you on the air for another 50 years. That'll be good, huh? Yeah.
Great.
Thank you, Eileen. Have a great day and take care. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Thanks.